So that
Right.
sets the tone for your letter, and we must be very precise about it. Usually what happens, people in subconscious mind keep on writing 100 things, but different sort of cues will give different kind of formula.
Hello and welcome back to the Mentorship Project, where ambition meets guidance. My name is Anushka Chakrader, and I'm a final year law student from Amity Law School, Noida. This is the podcast for every law aspirant seeking clarity, confidence, and career insight straight from the minds shaping the legal world. Today with us, we have a person seeking brilliancy in the field of law, Mr. Sankalp Tyagi.
Yeah.
Welcome to the podcast, sir. Mr. Sankalp Tyagi is a DGM at the Reserve Bank of India. Mr. Tyagi has completed his master's in the Constitutional Law from Bikaner University and completed his PhD from the University of Rajasthan. Sir, how are you doing?
Absolutely fine. Thank you so much, Anushka, and for having me here. And I would like to start with your the title of your podcast, Lawful Assembly. Actually, when I saw it, it's like a gathering which is even endorsed by the Constitution, and the Constitution would be
Yeah.
to have RSVP for that. I think
Yes.
it was nice.
So it is our honor to have you here today. I am looking forward, and I am sure all of our audience who are watching this podcast today are looking forward to every single answer and details that they would want to know in a journey where they are also unpacking a lot of um, questions. So without further ado, we should start our podcast. Very excited. So, to begin with, sir, could you give our audience a clear understanding of what the Reserve Bank of India Grade B Legal Officer role entails and how it stands apart from the public sector legal roles?
Actually, Anushka, if you see, this question has two parts, in fact. The first one is what is a legal officer RBI's remit? So,
Yes.
as for RBI legal officer's remit is concerned, I think it's a kind of distinctive confluence of legal acumen,
Right.
regulatory foresight, and policy sensitivity, if you see. And if you see the contrast between RBI and other public sector institutions, so
Mhm.
primarily, public institutions are more sort of in a litigation management and advisory role. But in addition to that, what we do is enforcement, oversight, regulatory things, policy formation, and it actually demands a juridical precision, you can say, coupled with a regulator's vision. And
Right.
I would like to add one more thing here is what actually we look and what can be handy for aspiring students here is the more you learn and the more paced you learn this RBI functioning, it will be quite efficient. It means you can efficiently do your work in RBI in a longer run, in fact. So this is
Right.
the thing which we usually aspire for.
Right. That's an excellent answer, sir. Sir, what initially drew you to RBI legal officer paths? Was it always this goal or something you discovered along the way?
Uh, Actually, it was neither preordained course or nor entirely serendipitous, in fact, I should say, because I was working as an assistant professor back then, and I was into
Oh,
constitutional law. Constitutional framework was my basic academic
right.
play. So at that time, when this opportunity came, I thought that this can be one of the things which I really want
Yeah.
to have because this is slightly different from commercial means institutions and all. So I thought that constitution coupled with some sort of financial laws or the economy of the country, that really inspired me at that time to write this exam. That was the journey.
Wow. That is so inspiring, sir. That I am getting to know that you were an assistant professor before that. So, yeah. That's amazing, sir. Sir, this exam includes a mix of objective and descriptive components in law. In a full descriptive paper, uh, in English, on English, I believe. Yeah. So, how did you approach preparing for both legal application and language skills?
Uh, Anushka, if you see, this, I want to say this with a writer because I wrote this exam some 15 years back. So a lot
Hmm.
of water has flown.
Yeah.
So, but still, I recall two exams, two papers, in fact. First one is
Yeah.
legal, and second one is English. So
Hmm.
this is the kind of, you can say that intertwined disciplines you need to learn there.
Wow.
As for legal is concerned, you must have, at least I had at that time, a principle-driven approach where you can not only rote learning will help, but in addition to that, you must have some sort of your own opinion so that you can be uh, distinct from other people.
Right.
I should say that everybody is going to write your provisions and also what other things you are offering to the examiner. So this is one
Yeah.
thing. So as for the English, as far English is concerned, I would say uh, again I will come on this point that linguistic issue is not that we usually pursue. I will just rephrase the sentence here. Usually, what I have seen people say that I could not write because of English.
Mm-hmm.
We try to fault with English, but that is not the case. Actually, what we lack is idea.
Uh,
And if you have a very clear idea, then the things will be slightly easier for you. So
right.
what I understood is you must have an approach which is principle driven. So that can lead you to some sort of success, I think. So
Understand. Sir, the legal syllabus spans from our constitutional law to administrative law to Transfer of Property Act and statutory interpretations. Sir, which acts or topics did you find particularly important and which ones were often underestimated by the aspirants?
uh, I can answer this question purely on my own experience because it's
Definitely,
on everybody his own
definitely.
perception. So I think the most important subject here, which usually is undermined, I think, is the
Mm-hmm. Mm.
and what usually people do not you can say that distinguish that there lies a difference between the Constitution of India and the constitutional law. Because
Oh,
people will just have an understanding of Article 14, 15, or they could recall the articles and the sections and so on and so forth. But what they miss is latest cases and all. So,
right.
so that is one of the most important aspect. And as for other subjects, if you see Transfer of Property Act, all your major acts like in civil law, Contract Act, your Companies Act, so these
Right.
will certainly be very important. In fact, I feel if you
Okay.
have a good understanding of corporate law,
Right.
then things will be slightly easier. But people usually miss constitutional law. And that was really my, you can say that forte at that time.
But your answer, sir, made me feel as if every subject in that sense is very important.
Yes, of course. Because
Like,
back then, now I don't know about the pattern, but at that time, some maybe 5, 10 questions were one-liners or maybe objective kind of thing. And you would find maybe 4, 5 questions from the Constitution at that time. And
yeah,
the objective also. So it was primarily Constitution and other major laws like corporate law. So they do not spare even a single subject. You'll find something or other from every.
yeah, every subject. Correct, correct. So since I am going to be also letting you know this might come also as a very personal question since I am also an aspirant for SEBI and RBI, and sir, I'm in my final year and my specialization is business law. So what I am primarily studying is TPA and business law and finance and everything. But yes, in my law school and every law school, first, second, or third year, students are being taught constitutional law because it's a basic subject, it's a statutory law, so you should know. So, sir, how much would uh, a student of a business law specialization or a constitutional law specialization has advantage over, getting to write exams on SEBI and RBI?
I wouldn't say advantage in that sense, because as for these financial laws and your corporate law and all, of course, we must have understanding of these subjects. But once you get into RBI or maybe SEBI, then you will keep on learning these things. But
Yeah,
initially, what I think these institutions want, that how you will interpret the law
correct.
and how deep you understand the regulatory aspect and the regulator's vision in that way. So if
Right.
you have that understanding, then everybody will know law. That won't be a big deal later on. So how you synchronize with your regulatory vision, that becomes really handy.
Right.
I won't say that this subject is more important or that is more, but yes, you must have a thorough understanding of all these subjects.
That perfectly answers my question. So, coming back to the next question. Sir, the descriptive English paper includes précis writing, essay writing, and business correspondence. In your opinion, what skills are critical to perform well in these sections?
Anushka, if you see, it's not about writing exams only. I'm not talking about writing RBI or SEBI exam only, but it's an open secret that there are certain things which everybody should keep in mind while writing English or Hindi or whatever that is.
Right.
It applies to all linguistic things. The first one is clarity of thought. The
Mm-hmm.
second one is your economy of expression. And the third one is precision of tone. When we
Right.
talk about clarity of thought, if you are writing something, so you'll be introduced by your writing. So
Mm.
you are what your writing is actually before people,
Right.
right? So the most important aspect is you must have clarity about your thoughts, which you really want to write. If we are not clear enough, people won't understand. And it works in every field. Now, the
Yeah.
second point is whatever you want to write, even if when we say that we need to have descriptive answers, even descriptive has its own limits. So you have limited number of words and limited number of pages. So when we are writing something, we should be, you can say that, use precise language without diluting the meaning of that particular term.
Mm.
You are conveying your thought in a very precise way. It becomes really important. And the third and very important thing is your precision of tone. And what I mean by precision of tone here is, suppose you are writing a note, or maybe you're preparing something or writing a letter. So whether you want to write a conciliatory note, or you want to be persuasive, or you want to be assertive, you want to
Mm.
be lucid, it must be explanatory. So first, we should keep in our mind what exactly I'm writing and what should be my tone. So that
Right.
actually sets the tone for your letter, and we must be very precise about it. Usually what happens, people in subconscious mind keep on writing 100 things, but different sort of cues will give different kind of, or maybe misleading clues.
Yeah.
So
Clues.
that spoils the thing.
Correct.
I hope you got my answer in
Yeah.
that.
So clarity of thought is the central idea behind writing. Yeah.
Then
Perfect.
you must have be means economic with your expression. And the third one
Right.
is precision. So
Right. Perfect. Sir, the eligibility criteria requires 2 years of legal experience. How does that practical exposure helps shape a candidate's answer in both the legal and the English paper?
uh, exam, it's purely personal again, but
Okay.
if you ask me, experience has edge since times immemorial. And if somebody has experience and somebody is a fresher, so of course some sort of experience will be slightly advantageous in that way. But whether it should be 2 year, 1 year, 3 year, it all depends on the institutions. But
Mhm.
it helps a lot because you have a practical experience. And what happens is, as you are doing your bachelor's from MIT, so this is theoretical
Yeah.
more. And when you go into advocacy or maybe teaching, so this is actually the crucible where the skill will be tested.
Right.
When you go into advocacy, you learn a lot of stuff, and then you are writing something. So that will be totally different.
Yeah.
It really helps a lot, but it's a personal choice in that way.
Mm-hmm. Okay. For aspirants aiming for the 2025 cycle of RBI Legal Officer exam, what would your ideal 6 month preparation strategy look like, particularly in the terms of sources, writing practice, and revision?
It's a difficult question because I did not prepare in that way. But yes, your fundamentals must be clear. Even if any serious student will be continuing with the constitutional law, corporate law, and basic laws, other laws also.
Right.
So initially, maybe 1 or 2 months you can give to understand these laws and to learn as much as possible. Now,
Right.
second part is keep on reading the Hindu or maybe Indian Express for your general articles. And if you can, then Business Standard or maybe Financial Express or that sort of any paper you can take for your legal English writing, in fact. Because what happens is news you'll find everywhere, but how to write an article, how to write an essay, so that comes with practice.
Yeah,
These
that is very
certainly give it to you. And the third part, of course, you should try to come out with answers in 20 words and 30 words, 50 words, 200 words for each and every single question. So that really helps.
true. So the final stage of the exam process is the interview. Could you share what kind of questions you encountered personally and what mindset helped you navigate the stage effectively?
Anushka, what happens is interview is primarily about your presence of mind and quick wit. These two things really help a lot. But you cannot undermine the knowledge. That knowledge part is always going to help you. And if you have some sort of rote learning, that really helps a lot. It has negative implications also, but sometimes it plays very handy in interviews. And how that happens is, suppose some instant question comes and you recall the exact provision. So that gives a very significant edge over other things. And secondly, as for my interview, initially they started with a general question that how you can redress the issue of pendency in the Supreme Court cases, so that I answered. And then they came to some corporate law, and the third one was then constitutional law. So primarily the questions were general questions, and then they moved on on this corporate law, and finally constitutional law. So it went maybe for 20-25 minutes. That's it.
Amazing. So, were you scared before going to the interview, thinking that, oh my God, what if I scribble around the question? I have to think twice for the answer.
Anxiety is about the things which we can do and we are not doing. So we don't know actually what they're going to ask. So I was not petrified at that time, but yes, of course, we should be conscious and we should be prepared for that. That's it. I was prepared, of course.
Correct. With this, we end our first set of questions that would help students, aspirants get the certain type of answers that they were looking for. Now we move on to the legal work at RBI. How does it look for you, sir? And these set of questions must be very personal to you. So you would, if you would want, you can answer it completely in your perspective. So, sir, my question goes to you as a legal officer and now the DGM at RBI. What does your typical work day involve? How do your legal officers contribute to the broader functioning at the central bank?
I understand that I work in a legal cell, which is extended arm of the legal department central office. So I'm posted at regional office, Kolkata. there lies a difference between sitting in a central office and having this legal cell. But yes, if you have maybe some 15, 20 references in the morning on your table, so certainly exigency finally wins. So without any other concern, you'll just take up the thing which is the most urgent one, and then just you'll try
Yeah.
to. But apart from that, if you see a lot of policy formulation, you will see here, which we usually deal with. And then litigation management, of course, is one of the most important things here.
Mhm.
And deadlines are really, you can say that, a serious thing and
Serious thing.
serious. So you should be very, we cannot default on deadlines. If maybe your litigation management or formally your policy formulation or whatever that is. So my day starts with 10, 15 references on a table, and then I will just try to see the exigencies, and accordingly, I just try to dispose them one by one. So this is a typical day. But it's
This is such a this is fancy to hear, sir, because we are aspirants, we are students, we're thinking, well, we will be writing the papers and exams one day, thinking we would get a job there. And you sitting there, you're literally telling us what's happening behind the scenes. And it just feels, it just, as a student, since we've not seen anything like that, we're just dreaming about it. Feels very like unrealistic. How, what would we do when we go there? So it's just, yeah, it's very dreamy for me at least. I don't know for other people. So you worked extensively with statutes like the RBI Act, FEMA, the Banking Regulation Act, Companies Act. Which of these tend to dominate your day-to-day work, and how should aspirants begin building fluency in these areas?
uh, everything comes with the practice.
Okay.
This rider, if you see, we primarily work in BR Act, Banking Regulation, Reserve Bank of India Act, FEMA, and DPSS. These I consider are really important, in addition to some other things also. But um, as for, you can say that how to learn and how to practice, that comes with time, and a continuous practice is required, because in one day we can't be champions of any law. So just keep
Definitely.
practicing. But first, you should check whether these acts they're going to ask in exam or not. I'm not sure. So
Yeah,
you go,
they do. They
okay.
do.
If that is there, then certainly BR Act, RBI Act, FEMA, and DPSS are the most important acts here.
Uh,
In
so
addition,
how would you ask us to practice these laws? Because business law, it's a very practical, half theory, half practical. You have to also learn certain sections, and then you have to keep them in your mind that Companies Act is asking this is the designation of the director of a company. So these things are to be memorized. So how do you practice it? Do you keep on reading about it every day so that it gets memorized, or you practically put these section onto cases? How do you
yes.
practice? Ah,
Uh, Actually, what happens is it's a different sort of method in your colleges. What you do is you'll just take the provisions, and then you'll just keep on learning that. But as for, I found it really, you can say that advantageous this way. You should start with the case law, because you have basic understanding of
mm,
mean interpretation or whatever that is.
yeah,
You should take any important case of this, any particular subject. If you want to learn corporate law, so you can start with any corporate law case, and then see these sections which have been referred to there,
right.
and then try to read these. First is, as we all know, that initially IRAC is initially that what is issue. The second one is what is rule. Rule means law. The third one is how you apply that, so application, and the fourth one is, you can say that, conclusion. So this is the kind of thing, IRAC model, which method you can use. But case law is primarily the most important thing for any law student. And keep on reading the latest cases. That really gives you the updated things. So this is my understanding.
That answers the questions really well. So legal work at the Reserve Bank also includes legislative drafting and policy analysis. How different is the how different is that from courtroom practices or traditional corporate advisory work like 9 to 5 desk job and everything?
If you see, advocacy is primarily about that is adversarial role, and that is a transaction specific. If you see, there must be a dispute which you are going to redress, or for the
Right.
redressal you are going to the court. But if you
Right.
see Reserve Bank, and it's about designing policies, and you try to forestall any dispute rather than winning them.
Mm-hmm.
The kind of beforehand or preventive measure so that the things will not crop up or the disputes won't crop up. So we try to ensure that, but it's a process which keeps on going. The cases will come, you will rectify, and then again things will come. So it works in that way.
Network. I think your sir, are you there? Can you?
Yes, yes, I
Your
can.
Yeah. So your network is posing some issues. It is freezing in the middle of your answers. So let us
I
continue.
Yes,
Let us continue regardless. Fine. Coming to the next question. Given RBI's global engagement and cross-border regulatory frameworks, um, do legal officers also work on international frameworks? For example, those related to fintech or foreign exchange or anti-money laundering. Does that happen, sir?
yes, indeed, that happens because
Okay.
in the recent past, if you see, and after COVID, a lot of things have changed, and the change is
Mm-hmm.
significant. Like if you see, online transactions have astronomically increased a lot. So,
Right.
of course, if you see cross-border insolvency, IBC code, and fintech, as you have rightly pointed out,
Yeah.
FEMA, so we try to work in tandem with international practices, and that really comes with updation of yourself with the international things which are going on, and it frequently it
Yeah.
happens.
Wow. So is that have you ever, I think you have personally also worked in international frameworks like this question is particularly asking.
This actually I'm not able to answer as of now. But I because of my professional commitment. So
Oh yeah, for sure. Right. So sir, we move on to the next section, which talks about the higher education in abroad through RBI. So you've had this rare opportunity to pursue higher legal studies abroad through RBI. Could you tell us about where you studied and what was the program all about and what was it focusing on?
I'm pursuing my JSD program in Washington University in St. Louis. So JSD is a doctoral program there. As we have, like if you see in legal education here, we have LLBs, bachelors. So they have JD programs there. And here we call PhDs, and they call it JSD or SJD program in the US. So I'm pursuing JSD there. And my, you can say that area of a thesis is research is constitutional limitations and rule of law kind of thing. So
Right.
working on that, and it's going on as of now.
Is it fun, sir?
Yes, of course, fun and rigorous studies, in fact. So
Rigorous.
I really learned a lot in the US because the teachers are totally different from India.
How it is in India.
Yes, of course, because what happens there is a classroom teaching is really serious affair there.
Hmm.
You cannot skip your classes, and they will ask you to read maybe some 100, 200 pages on daily basis, and then they'll keep on asking questions on the next day itself. So it becomes some sort of thing is there, no doubt.
Wow. That's some real commitment they're asking. Yeah. So what was the selection process like that, like for that opportunity? Is this part of the structured initiative at Reserve Bank of India or something selectively offered?
No, actually, Reserve Bank of India offers scholarship program,
Uh,
and board will be set up, and they just choose people, and they just interview.
okay.
So interview board consists of top management people, and then they just select people and they send.
Wow. So, do you believe in international academic exposure that could help Indian regulators contribute more meaningfully to the global conversations around the banking and finance law?
Yes, of course. I feel the honest answer is, if you see in commercial banks, I don't see a lot of scope for, means a lot of value addition from international practices. But as for regulators, it certainly helps a lot, because you need to be, you can say that, very vigilant about what is going on world
Correct.
around. You should understand what sort of things are coming in the US, or what sort of things are coming in EU or UK. So that really helps you a lot in policy formulation, and it's a good deal of work which we do here.
Correct. Sir, so the next segment that we have arrived on is the rapid fire round, my personal favorite round. There will be two questions and you will have to answer them really quickly. So the first question goes to you, states, one statute every RBI law aspirant must master.
BR Act.
BR Act, the Banking Regulation Act. Perfect. Your one line advice to RBI Grade B legal officer aspirants.
Keep on working hard, keep on reading things like Constitution, FEMA, DPSSBR Act, and RBI Act.
Perfect. With this, we have successfully ended the podcast. I really didn't want it to end, but since we have completed all our set of questions, sir, is there anything that you would like to tell the law students, in fact, who are watching this podcast, and also to the aspirants, if they are somehow failing to get what they want? So, what would be one advice from you going to them?
Just keep on working your skills, because now I think the time has come where Chat GPT or maybe your AI is going to help you a lot. So whatever you can learn by memorizing things, or by, you can say that, practicing evaluation with your cognitive abilities, that's going to help a lot. So keep on improving your skills, may it be writing or may it be reading, and things will fall in line. Don't worry.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. This podcast was a success in terms of all the knowledge that you gave us, all the knowledge that you gave all the aspirants. And I'm hoping all the aspirants get all the answers from this podcast only. And thank you so much, sir, for joining us. And to all our audience who are watching this on YouTube, thank you so much for joining us. And I will see you in next time to the next podcast with some really engaging conversations. Thank you, Sankalp sir. Thank you, everybody. Um, we will
Thank you
see you
so
next
much.
time.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot, sir.